Work chapter from 1990. And when you're preparing for CAT, you have to consider the exam from 99 onwards happened in this exam. If you look at the CAT from 1999 to 2008, this decade, this was the last 10 years of the offline CAT. So this time you would find in these 10 years ke paper, if you look for time and work questions, in 10 years you might barely find 4 or 5 questions max. But in the last 6 years, 17 to 22, I hope you know that 2009 to 16 ke papers are not available. But I can tell you, because I took some of these tests, there were always questions which were there on time and work here also. Jab se online gaya, so you will find a lot of questions on time and work. Typically 1 or 2 questions in every slot of paper. So you'll find in these 6 years, you might find almost 20 to 25 high quality questions on time and work in these exams, which basically means that this topic has obviously you can look at the difference in the importance. 2 saal mein ek question aata tha, now suddenly you have 2 questions in every slot, kind of thing. And it's a topic which is built on your understanding of ratios and percentage. And time and work has its own specific kinds of very specific kinds of questions. And like any other chapter, the process of studying the time and work chapter will be that you first do the core reactions. You first organize the core reactions to yourself, and whatever there are, maybe 10 to 15 standard statements in this chapter that you should know. And once you understand those statements and what they mean and what you're supposed to do with them, then you can start and you can first get used to solving questions within this framework. And then you go to the next level of questions, and finally you go to the highest level of questions. You kind of expand your ability to the next level and the next level further. You might need to study this 2-3 times. Core reactions the first time mein ho jayega tumhara, but to get a grip of the tougher questions and how to solve them, you might need to go through this a couple of 2 or 3 times. And thumb rule to bataya hua hai batch mein humne yahan pe, and that's the general thumb rule. There's the general process that I always talk about. Ki quants mein every chapter you have to plan minimum 3 rounds and more if required. So ideally most of the chapters 3 rounds mein tumhara ho jana chahiye. 4th round, 5th round zarurat hoga ki nahi will come. So you might require a 4th or a 5th round of the chapter. And typically I'll just remind you, the first round on any topic, any chapter, timeline wise, you should not get intimidated by so many rounds. बहुत लोगों को लगता है कि इतने बार कैसे पढ़ेंगे हम लोग. So that you have to remember that the first round typically takes between 7 to 10 days if done efficiently. The second round on a topic will take between 2 to 4 days. The third round on the topic will take 1 to 2 days. And subsequent round 4, round 5, etc., might just be half-day visits. That means a few hours on it when you're studying it the 4th and 5th time, if it's not working for you in the problem-solving scenario. I hope we all clear about one thing. Somebody was asking me, how do you score 99.9 percentile or 100 percentile in the CAT? The answer is very simple. There's no rocket science behind it. It's all about attempt and correct. How many questions you can attempt and how many questions you can get correct. So quants mein different levels pe 22 questions ka paper abhi aa raha hai. If you can become somebody who can initially solve 8 to 10 questions with 95% accuracy, you will somewhere be in the 90 percentile range, 92 percentile range. If you can jump up by more work, more practice, you can jump to 12 to 14 questions. You will go to 97, 98 percentile. If you can jump to 60 to 80, you'll jump to 99.5. If you can jump all the way to 20 questions, I can solve 20 out of 22. You will be close to the 100 percentile score. So it's just the journey. This journey is just a function. It does not depend on whether you can do it or not. It's always anybody can do this. It's just a function of how many times you're ready to go ahead and do it. So हो सकता है एक प्राइम में क्वेश्चन नहीं पहुंचोगे तुम बहुत वीक हो, लेकिन वहां से 6 से 8 क्वेश्चन पे अगर पहुंच जाते हो तुम और फिर से एक बार पढ़ते हो तो ये गारंटीड है. थर्ड टाइम पढ़ने के लिए तैयार हो तो ये भी गारंटीड है. स्मार्ट अबाउट योर प्रिपरेशन 4th 5th टाइम करने में तुम यू विल ऑलमोस्ट काइंड ऑफ रिमेंबर द होल दिस थिंग. You'll automatically know exactly क्या पूछने वाला है. You have to reach that point where you don't just have the ability but also the belief of every chapter. right? The time and work when you go into time and work, there are broadly 3 or 4 kinds of questions that are built, or structures of questions that are built. The first and most common language you will find in the time and work chapter is a statement which says A can do a piece of work in 8 days. Statement like this, or 8 days or 8 hours. This can have you can have 3 different reactions to this statement. The first reaction to the statement is the fraction reaction. The fraction reaction to this statement is that in 1 day, the work done. This is the fraction reaction to the statement. And the basic formula in time and work, which will apply across questions, is essentially rate of work into time. The rate of work into time equals work done. So when you say in 1 day, the work is 1/8 of the total work. This is the rate of work. We're talking about the work done per day, right? So you can measure. So in this scenario, when you take the fraction of work as 1/8 of the total work, in that case, the target work to be done is taken as 1. So what is the objective? The objective is to complete the full work, which means you want to complete one full work, right? The second way you can react to the statement, the percentage reaction is in 1 day, the work done is 12.5%, because 1/8 is 12.5. In this scenario, if you're measuring the work through percentage, then in that case, the total work objective to be done is 100%. The target is to do 100% work. The way he works for 2 days or 3 days, in fraction terms, he would have done 3/8 of the work, because this is the rate of work. That's the variable. Variable came here. The rate of work into time equals work done. So if you think that he has done 3 days work, if there's a statement which follows this, he works for 3 days. In the fraction reaction, you will say that the work done is 1/8 into 3, which is 3/8. In the percentage reaction, the reaction will be 12.5% into 3. So in this case, the reaction will be that he has done 37.5% of the work. This much work is done, and 62.5% work is left, because the total work is 100%. That's the second reaction that you can have on this. The third reaction does not come only on this statement. The third reaction comes from this equation, where if I tell you that A can do a piece, A can do a work in 8 days, and B can do the same work in 12 days. To these two statements, the fraction reaction would be A's work is 1/8, B's work is 1/12. So if you want A and B working together, you'll have to do 1/8 plus 1/12. The percentage reaction, this is the fraction reaction. The percentage reaction is that A's work is 12.5% and B's work 1/12, which is 8.33%. So B's work is 8.33%. This is the percentage reaction. And the total work of A and B is 12.5 plus 8.33, which is 20.833%. You can just add the 2 percentages. Third reaction in the same scenario is the LCM reaction. In the LCM reaction, what do you do? So as you can appreciate, ये 20.833 होगा अगर सीधा क्वेश्चन पूछा है कि कितने दिन में काम खत्म करेंगे. How many days will they take to finish the work? Let's go with the first straight question. This is the starting information, and then they tell us that what is the number of days they'll take to finish the work. Okay, so number of days in which they'll complete the work. So in the fraction reaction, if I want to do this solution, I will say that if A and B are working together, the work rate is 1/8 plus 1/12. Because 1/8 is A's work rate, 1/12 is B's work rate. And this is the work rate into the time has to be equal to the work done. The work done has to be taken as 1. So you will have to solve this LCM, or you'll have to take the fraction ka LCMs here and get the answer. Okay? In the percentage method for the same thing, you will say A's work is 12.5%, B's work is 8.33%. So 20.833% into time has to be equal to 100. So this calculation becomes a little bit tedious because this decimal is not very convenient to work with, although you should know how to do these decimals. I'll show you how to do that, because sometimes you might take this reaction, you might want to get the outcome from this ratio, 100 divided by 20.833 for the answer. वो करना आना चाहिए तुमको. वो कैसे करते हैं मैं बताऊंगा तुमको अभी. But the LCM reaction, in the LCM reaction, what you do is you take the LCM of 8 and 12, and you say that the total work is 24. So if the total work is 24 and A does it in 8 days, A's work rate becomes 3 units per day, and B's work rate becomes 2 units per day. So A and B's work rate is 5 units per day into time has to be equal to 24. So this is the simplest way to do it, because you get it in one shot. The numbers are easy. You've taken LCM so that you get 3 and 2 as easy integers rather than going into decimals. So by default, you should realize that this is the most powerful method to do these questions.